And now I think we're ready to start to model in some of our mechanical HVAC stuff. So it's very important, of course, when we do all modeling in Revit that we understand what level we are on vertically and where in relative to that. Are we above it? Are we below it? So I always start by going to an elevation. We're going to go to a in the HVAC section here under elevations, we'll go to a south elevation, which is this guy over here. So we're going to double click on there. We can see some level lines. So I'm going to change my scale factor here to be quarter inch, make those bubbles a little bit smaller, and I'm going to draw a new level. I'm going to create a new level, at the ceiling level. So I'm going to go to architecture and I'm going to say new level. And I'm not going to worry too much about it. I want it to be about 30 inches, but I'm going to hover near the end point there and it goes to 3 feet. So that's close enough, and then I'm going to click here. Escape. So I zoomed out, I drew a new level line. If you draw it wrong or something, just click on it and delete it and do it again. Okay. If you delete it, it's going to the view will also be deleted. So we say OK and it's gone. Say we'll try it again. We'll say level. Note when we do level, it says make plan view. So it's going to make a floor plan of that. And offset meaning don't do any offsites. And then plan view types, you can see it's going to make a ceiling plan and a floor plan of the level I'm about to draw. So we are always paying attention to the options bar here as we're drawing. Okay, so again, I'm going to hover over here, eyeball a point, and pick over here. That's it. Escape. Pan over with my middle mouse button. Zoom in a little bit. I'm going to pick on this level once, and then I'm going to pick where the text is, the blue text. Pick in here. I'm just going to swipe and type in, ceiling. That's where my acoustic tile is going to go. So I click out. When I do that, it's going to tell me that it's going to rename the view over here at the same time. Would you like to rename the view? Yes. And then it's going to rename the view as well as the level. Okay. When you make a level, I said make a floor plan and make a ceiling plan, and I'm wondering where that ceiling, there it is, the ceiling plan went over here because it doesn't have a sub-discipline. So you do have to check in here as well. Not that we're going to draw in the ceiling plan, but whenever you see question marks, it means that the view doesn't have one of the properties as we've discussed in earlier lessons. So if I click on this ceiling plan, I'll notice that the discipline is mechanical, but the sub-discipline isn't specified. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I'm going to change the sub-discipline of that ceiling to be HVAC, and then click out, and now it's going to be grouped down here. We've talked about those properties of views. Click out. So now I'm going to do some dimensions on my quick access toolbar. I'm going to pick a line dimension, or I can go to annotate, pick it off of here, or right click and say add to quick access toolbar. So off my quick access toolbar, I'm going to pick on here and go pick, and then I'm going to wiggle around to nowhere and then just pick to place it. That's it. Escape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to pick the dimension. I'm going to pick the level line. This turns blue, and I'm just going to make this be, 2'6", 30 inches of ceiling space inside of there. Okay, and we only have 7'6", so that's not enough. So what I'm going to do, watch, I'm going to pick on here, lock this so the 2'6" stays. Click out. Now I'm going to pick on this top guy and change this to be 12 feet. Pick out. I don't have to say feet or inches. I just say 12. If I want it to be 12'6", I pick on here, pick here, and go 12 space 6. If I want it to be 12'6½", I go 12 space 6 space 0.5 or 1/2. So just put spaces in between 12'6½", and because this was locked, the 2 foot stayed the same. That's an I don't like the half, so I'm going to go back to here, pick on here, and just backspace, get rid of the 1/2 inch, enter, pick out. So this is at 10 feet, nice ceiling space. So that's where our diffusers are going to go, and our V8 unit is going to sit up here, and our ductwork is going to kind of go in from there. So 2'6", so about, that's 15 inches would be the center line. So just kind of take note that we'll probably make, 1'3" be the center line of our duct system because it's going to go right down the middle of that ceiling space. Okay, let's open up our floor plan ceiling. Okay, not the ceiling plan. Okay, the floor plan. Okay, and if your floor plan isn't here for some reason, it'll be under the question marks, and just make sure that it has the discipline and sub-discipline set up inside of here. Okay, so in my ceiling plan, I'm going to draw some kind of air terminals or diffusers. So I'm going to go to my Systems tab, and under Mechanical, I'm going to go Air Terminal. Okay, places a register, grill, or diffuser. So hover on there, you get a tooltip. Pick on here, move my mouse around. Okay, there's going to be my diffuser, and I can pick what kind I want on here. Supply diffuser looks good, 24 by 24 with 12 by 12 connector. Sounds good. Click on here, and you can also go load family and go get more out of the mechanical folder if you want. So I'm just going to go pick. Okay, now as I'm placing these, you have to kind of think. I am on the ceiling plan, and if I don't set any elevation above that, it basically puts it right at that level. Okay, I'm going to place another one. I'm going to hit escape once, escape twice. I'm going to start again. Under mechanical equipment, air terminal. Okay, as I go to place this, notice that it's not giving me the option here to set any specific offset from the level. Let's look up a bit. Oh, there it is there. You see? Level is ceiling, which is what I'm on. The offset is 0, which means that it's going to be basically flush with that ceiling, which is fine. That's okay. So I'm going to, you notice the nice alignment tools, okay? Comes quite nicely. So I can go like this, pan out with my middle mouse button, place a couple of diffusers in there. When I'm done, I hit escape, escape. Okay? Now, I can go look at that in a 3D view. There's my 3 diffusers. If I go back to that same south elevation, okay, panning out. Okay, there's my diffusers kind of sitting there at the ceiling level. So now we need to put our ductwork up inside of here. Back to our ceiling level. Okay, so we're going to place a piece of equipment now, mechanical equipment. Okay, and we're going to pick on our list here. This is where everything is all the time. Once you start the command, we're going to go in here and say, okay, I want a VAV unit, size 2, 10-inch inlet. Now that's just off the screen. You can't quite see that, but there's not much I can do at this point. So size 2, 10-inch inlet. Click. So there's my piece of equipment, and I can zoom in and say there's a corridor out here, and this is like a classroom or something, so we can, or an office, and then I can go pick, and I place that. Escape, escape. Now you'll notice that when you pick on these MEP objects, there's a couple of really neat little icons. There's these connectors, which allows you to draw ductwork directly from it using this tool over here, create duct. But this connector is really where the magic is. And if you pick on this piece of equipment, it has a bunch of connectors. Okay, it has the cooling connector, and it has 2 inlets there, and it has the outlet over here, which really should be pointing towards here. So let's just go to our 3D view. There's our piece of equipment, our VAV unit. If I pick on here and then do shift middle mouse, you can see that you can kind of swivel around. So those are different places that you can tap into this piece of equipment. Okay, so if the outlet, which is this one, this is the guy I want. So I'm going to go back to my ceiling plan, and if I hover over here or pick on it, you'll see that I want this outlet to be on this side. So all I'm going to do is use the standard rotate command. Go like this, rotate that out, click out. Now I have my outlet pointing in the right direction. So I position that accordingly. If I want to go look at my south elevation again, okay, zoom out. Oh, now guess what? When I place that piece of equipment, I didn't set an elevation. Let's try it again. Let's leave that one where it is, and let's do another one. Watch. I'm going to say mechanical equipment. I'm going to pick that same unit, but I'm going to set my offset here to be 1 foot 3, which is 15 inches, which is about half of that ceiling space. So I'm going to move in and I'm going to place it right there. Okay, escape, escape. If you want after the fact, you can pick on here and you can just change the elevation or offset right there. But just to kind of prove the point, oh, I need to put this over here so it's going to be beside it. Back down to my south elevation, and there's my 2 units, one sitting up where it should be, one down here. So I could have just taken this guy and change it to be, 1'3". Everything in Revit is changeable, and this one's even pointing in the right direction, so I can take this guy and delete it, go to my Doghouse 3D button. Okay, and now I have my piece of equipment and my ductwork ready to put together. So this is the fun part. So what we have to do now is all we have to do is first make this into what is called a system, and then we take that system and we tell Revit to automatically give us some duct routing options. So watch how easy this is. I can just do a big window box, and I can do this in a 2D view or 3D view. Doesn't matter. I can click out. I can grab them one at a time. Doesn't matter how I grab them. If I window them or do a crossing box. Okay, window box is this way, crossing box is to the left. So grab all these guys. And now I'm going to see this wonderful tool here called Create Duct. Okay, these are selection tools. You can save that selection, but watch what happens when I say duct. It says, okay, create duct system. I get to pick a system type. It's a supply. It knows because these are supply pieces of equipment. System name, mechanical supply air 1. Sure. I don't need to open it up in the editor once I create it, so I just hit OK. And what happens is it says, okay, with that, which connector do you want to use on this on the VAV unit? So I'm going to use the 14x11 connector 1 supply air. Hit OK. Now it kind of groups them together into a system. If you click out, you can still take this one guy and move it, nudge it over, do whatever you want with it. Okay, I'll undo that. But if you hover over this and you tab once, it will pick the system. So when something's together in a system, you can hover over any one of the objects, hit your tab button on the keyboard, tab, and then pick. Once you have the system selected by hover, tab, click, now we can do this wonderful auto generate layout tool. So watch what happens.